Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, playing some more Warhammer Combat cards, and here at the beginning of October, we have a new season. For this month's Battle Pass, we have a Salamanders theme. You can see some of the cosmetics over on the right side, as well as Salamander-themed cards. Interestingly enough, the legendary card that comes with the Battle Pass is not a Salamanders card. It's the Ultramarines Land Raider. It's too bad they don't actually have the new legendary Salamanders character, who you can see if you look in the collection. They actually added a bunch of new Space Marines, as well as a few cards from other factions into the game. None of these are actually available to add to your collection just yet, but I imagine they will be arriving mostly in the shop, I would imagine, for purchase at some point this month. A few of them may be campaign rewards as well, but we'll just have to wait and see. We can take a look at them, though, just as a preview. Some of them will show up as enemies in the campaign. So for the Space Marines, we have an Imperial Fist Repulsor Executioner, a 64-point card. This one is a rare card with precision shot, just a really big cannon on this tank. We've got Captain Lysander, who is a melee only. He's an epic, so his primary trait is shield and unlocks Inspiring Presence at level 9. Just a very tanky boy. Here's the Salamanders captain, Vulcan Hestan. This guy is a legendary with Big Game Hunter and Inspiring Presence for his traits. Very cool looking model. We've got Pedro Cantor, the Crimson Fist Chapter Master. This guy is an epic with Inspiring Presence, and he unlocks Furious Charge at level 9. One thing I've noticed about some of these mid-range cards, like cards in the 20 to 30 point range, is that a lot of them end up having a huge amount of health by the time they hit max level. So in those max level events, these can be pretty useful compared to cards that are much more expensive but don't have proportionally as much health compared to their cost. We've got a White Scars Landspeeder Tornado. This one has Outflank and a pretty powerful ranged attack. Blood Angel's Captain with Jump Pack. This guy's got Furious Charge and then unlocks Inspiring Presence at level 9. Got a Raven Guard Landspeeder Storm. This one has Ranged Scout. Got an Imperial Fist Heavy Intercessor with Regeneration. Ultramarines Primaris Company Champion. This is melee with target acquired. Then we got a Raven Guard Librarian in Phobos Armor. Pretty cool model there, but I think the stats are kind of messed up. It's a Librarian, so its primary attack should be Psychic. Currently it is ranged. So yeah, I think that's a mistake that they will fix later. But interestingly enough, it does have Scout, so this would make it the first Psychic Scout in the game. We got an Ultramarine Stern Guard with Pyre Cannon. This guy has Barrage. It's only a rare, but a pretty crazy ranged attack at max level. As you can see, 91 barrage damage for just a 21-point card. We got another Blood Angels Jump Pack Intercessor Sergeant. This guy has Furious Charge. Salamander's Thunderfire Cannon with Barrage as well. We've got a Deathwatch Veteran, yet another Barrage card. This one's only 19 points, but it's over 90 ranged attack at the max level. We've got a White Scars Attack Bike with Ranged Scout. And finally, a Crimson Fist Imperial Space Marine with Precision Shot. So, a pretty ridiculous amount of Space Marines entering the game. Now, a lot of players are kind of complaining about this, how Space Marines are just getting too much love in this game. Over 144 cards now in the Space Marine faction. It's pretty much more than double than every other faction except for Servants of the Emperor. We're currently at 109. They do have a couple new cards. We've got the Sororitas Exorcist. This is an epic tank, so it starts off the Barrage and then unlocks Precision Shot at level 9, so yeah, at the max level this thing will be quite strong. Very good combo there with Barrage and Precision Shot. It's also 38 points, so just under the Big Game Hunter threshold. And then, I guess we don't have a model yet for this one, but there is an Attilan Rough Rider, so a cavalry unit with Furious Charge and a strong melee attack. Tau get a kind of goofy looking gun rig here. This thing is ranged and Big Game Hunter, and a whole lot of health. This thing is currently available in the shop for purchase. Necrons don't have anything. Neither do Eldari. For Chaos, we've got a really big tank here, 48 points for a Plague Burst Crawler. So this thing has Barrage and unlocks Poison at level 9. So another solid combo of traits. At max level, this thing could be pretty scary with over 300 health. For the Orcs, we've got this Death Skull's Grot Mega Tank. This one has Barrage as well, and it unlocks Shield at level 9. Again, very powerful card at the max level. Tyranids don't have anything new at the moment, nor do the Leagues of Votann. So yeah, those are all of the new cards that we can see in the collection that will be entering the game in the near future. But let's move on to the actual stat changes and the cards that were modified in this season. Just a note, I guess the reason why we have yet another Space Marine Battle Pass is because of the release of the Space Marine Codex, but it does look like we will have Guilliman as a playable warlord Sounds like this month, so that is something to look forward to. It's been a while since we've had any new warlords in the game, so that will shake things up a bit. Alright, but looking at the balance changes, starting with Space Marines. So we got this Sternguard veteran with precision shot. He got plus 5 health and plus 10 to his ranged attack. This Grey Knight's Terminator with all 3 attack types got increased to all of his stats, plus 5 to the health, ranged, psychic, and melee attack values. Not a particularly useful card. I haven't personally really used this guy at all. Not sure if this really makes him that much more viable. The Invader ATV got plus 10 to its health and plus 10 to its ranged attack. This Dark Angel's Terminator Librarian, by far the worst Psyker, I think, in the Space Marine roster, got a pretty significant increase of 20 health, plus 10 to the Psychic, and plus 5 melee. And strangely enough, Uriel Ventress got a decent increase as well, plus 10 to the health, plus 5 range, and plus 5 melee. This guy I have used quite a bit in the max level events. He hits really hard there, but now I guess he's a bit more useful even at the lower levels as well. Moving on to Eldari. The Wraithlord with heavy weaponry got plus 20 to its health and plus 10 ranged attack. I just very recently got this in my collection, so it's still quite weak, but yeah, at the max level this thing is one of the strongest bodyguards in the Eldari roster, I think. Extremely powerful with the Big Game Hunter barrage traits. Necrons only get one slight change. The Night Scythe is down 2 points, so it is under the Big Game Hunter threshold now. This one did get buffed last season, but I guess it wasn't enough. No changes to Tau. For Servants of the Emperor, the Arco-Flagellant is getting plus 10 to its health. Really not a very useful card. It's only 4 points, but I think they're just better options than, a weak Berserker that's only going to get slightly stronger before it dies. The Paragon Warsuit is getting plus 10 to its health and plus 10 melee. And then the big old Quester Mechanicus Knight Moirax. This one is getting plus 10 to its ranged attack and plus 15 to its melee. This is another one that is actually quite strong at max level, and now it hits even harder with Big Game Hunter. Moving on to Chaos. We got this Chaos Cultist. This is the newest Endless minion. It's only 4 points, and they're just giving it plus 10 to its health. This one is... I want to say this one is actually kind of useful because it does have both ranged and melee attack types, unlike a lot of the other Endless cards that Chaos have. The Flamer of Tzeentch is getting plus 10 to its ranged attack. The Skull Cannon of Khorne, which is also underperforming, gets plus 5 health, plus 3 ranged, and plus 3 melee, just slightly stronger. Still not an amazing card, though. And then Cypher is down 2 points, getting plus 10 health and plus 5 to its ranged attack. Another pretty new card, so I only have him at level 1. This guy gets pretty ridiculous, though, at the max level, as you can see, over 100 ranged attack, with target acquired and outflank. For the Orcs, this Tank Buster Knob is getting, like, the 10th buff. This guy has just continued to... They've been, like, reducing this guy's points, increasing his stats for ages, and I guess still no one's using him. Because there's just better options. But now, it's kind of hard to ignore this guy. 72 Big Game Hunter damage for 13 points is pretty ridiculous. He might finally find a way into some bad ruck decks. And then the Big Daka's Mega Cannon is getting plus 10 ranged as well. And then no changes to Tyranids, and no changes to Leagues of Votann for this balance pass. So there you have it. Let me know what you think of the changes. Again, mostly just boosting a few underperforming cards, which most players probably aren't using at all. So nothing too crazy here. Also curious to know what your thoughts are on just having so many more Space Marines than every other faction. I think one nice thing about just pouring new cards into the game is even if you don't add them to your collection and aren't able to use them yourself, it does make for more variety when you're playing against the faction in the campaign, and it's fun to see, new cards pop up that you've never faced before. So that is one thing that I like, but of course, a lot of players are concerned about the card bloat in the game, especially when it comes to Space Marines. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.